Good morning. This is Mission Alive and I'm Greg McCann. This is part 4 of the series that I'm giving on the MSC involvement in China. We talked about Shetian, which was the station that was given to them to go in 1926. We talked about Shetian, the mission station, being in a small place in the middle of the mountains. We talked about the bandits and how the place was a very, very dangerous area. Not just the bandits, but there were lots of tigers and leopards, and that caused a lot of problems. We talked about the terrible trip they had, covering months, to try and finally get there. We talked about the Paris Missionary Society priests who were extraordinarily successful at Guyane and were doing an extraordinarily good job. We talked about the priests, the second and third lot of priests that arrived at the mission station, and how Father Baumeister was held for ransom. And we talked about the article that was written by Brother Delaney and how I'm using that article to explain to you the story. How it's from what I spoke to when I was in Shetian, and I was there for a while, I'll talk about my own experience and what I've heard, Barney Delaney's story, and also the help I've been given from the North German provincial. Okay, so we talk about the Long March, and we're going to say a little bit more about that today. Around about October the 21st, 1934, the Red Army entered Shetian. It was a part of the Long March. Anyway, by that time, the sisters had been evacuated and the priests and brothers remained disguised as Chinese. That would have been pretty funny, I reckon, because they would have stood out like sore toes. Unfortunately, the Reds had spies in the town, and the priests and the brothers were quickly identified. Of course they would be. However, in the general uproar of the town, all of them managed to get away, except Father Kellner. Now, I heard a little bit about him when I was actually in Shetian, and I've been there quite a bit. And there was also, I found in the annals, a story by Father Darcy Morris. It seems as though Father Kellner was never really of real good health. He was always a bit crook. Now, at the time of his abduction, he'd been saying Mass at an outstation, and he came back to Shetian, not knowing that the Red Army had already arrived. So all the priests and brothers were out, the church, the presbytery, everything was empty. He walks in. Hello everyone. Oh, where are you? Anyway, the communists got him straight away, and he was forced to join the Long March of the Red Army. Now, along the way, the communists had also abducted an American Protestant pastor, possibly Presbyterian or Methodist, because both of them were fairly active in that area at the time. And this pastor was a witness to the death of Father Kellner. Extraordinary thing that the Long March lasted for 370 days, and it covered 9,000 kilometres. The Red Army demanded a ransom of £10,000 from both the Protestant Church and the Catholic Church. Rome refused to pay, but the American authorities paid for the pastor. And that's how we managed to get the story of Father Kellner's death. It seems that he and the pastor walked together for some time. And at a place called Dali in Yunnan province, we'll see that shortly, Father Kellner was shot and his body was given to the local people there to bury. But instead of burying him, they put his body under a tree in the forest and they left it there. This is what I've been told.